Alexa, stop. Surf Ranch. Good morning. All right, today's the day, Saturday, February 6th. I'm off to the Kelly Slater Wavepool. I got my weapon of choice here. So my quiver is all lined up. I got my neck beard too, which I've only probably surfed like 4 times, 5 times. So everyone tells me this is the board. That'll work the best in the pool. So I think I'm gonna go with that. So I'm ready. Pumped, psyched, I don't know what the word is, nervous. So a very special thanks to Geoff, who invited me to the pool. And for those of you who don't know the story, he saw my videos on YouTube and I guess he liked the reviews and thought they were real and just kind of a different style. So anyways, he contacted me and he was kind enough to invite me, and I gotta say, Geoff, you're a legend, and I think a lot of people feel the same way, and thank you for this opportunity, and definitely I will have to get you back, and for that gesture I will definitely have to try to pay it forward someday, and I hope I get the opportunity to do that, especially if this channel grows. On with the show. I have to say that one of the coolest things was to see my name on the locker, and I mean, as soon as I could, I put my boards in there, and I was so happy that that they had a locker actually for my daughter. Unfortunately, she didn't make it, but it was cool to send her a picture of it, and even though she was sad, it was a little bit of joy, I guess, to see her name. So here we are at the Surf Ranch. And it's kind of weird. Like, you see it on TV and you think it's one way and you think it's one side, and then how actually enormous it is, it's intimidating. So now I'm starting to get nervous, and I just saw a guy miss a wave, so that'll probably be me. Look at that. Oh my gosh, this place is amazing though. So now, before I get into showing you some of my waves and possibly a few of Geoff's, I wanted to tell you about this cool little thing where, if you don't get an opportunity to surf a lot and you come out here and you're afraid, they will help you into the waves just to guarantee that you don't miss a wave. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature. I mean, that's Concierge Service if I ever heard of it. So now this is Geoff, and he's riding a fish beard, which is pretty incredible that a twin fin has this kind of hold on, a wave like this. And you could tell I feel like he's super knowledgeable because he looks like he knows exactly what the wave's going to do and where. So he's just focusing on technique. Yeah, so these are one of the few of the first waves I saw when I got there, and it was just so cool to see. But just to give everyone an idea of how this works, you have 2 choices when you get in the pool. The jet ski guy asks what kind of wave you want. You can tell him you want CT2 or CT1. Oh, before I finish that thought, so when you fall off a wave, you can poach. And so alongside of the pool are a couple guys who are just, probably sitting there wishing you would fall, so that way they could pick up the wave. At any rate, going back to CT2 and 3. So CT2 is probably the wave you most often see. It's the one that you do a couple turns, you get barreled, you do more turns and get barreled. CT3 is just turns pretty much all throughout, and then a barrel at the end. So now this is my first wave of the evening, and I only got the night sessions. But if you notice, I did my first turn with some degree of confidence, and then the second turn, if you saw that my foot slipped. And so after that, I was super tentative, like I did not want to fall. So if you notice, I'm not really trying, and this is the best part. I thought my wave was over, and I thought this was the end barrel section. So that's why I went for the barrel. I forgot to listen because the jet ski guy tells you when the barrel's coming. And so it turns out I was not even halfway done. So that is how long the wave is. I thought for sure I was at the end of the pier, but I had so much adrenaline, my peripherals were gone. It was just, what an incredible experience. So I ordered CT3 thinking that would be the better wave because I have very little experience on backside barrels, but in hindsight, I probably should have gone CT2 and just went for barrels only. And if you notice again, I keep slipping. And what I mean by that is I'm on the neck beard, and I think I'm so heavy front-footed that when I go to set my rail, I have all my weight in the front, and that ends up pulling the back up, and there's just not enough back fin. Anyways, this is the wave that I actually try to finish, and I thought, I was in it for a little bit, but that just makes me laugh. I have very little experience on backside barrels. But anyways, this is my first left, and the left felt much closer to the pier. I don't know what you want to call that, the fence. So anyways, I didn't want to fall, so literally I'm not like pushing out my back foot and trying to slam turns. I was just really afraid of falling. And I didn't put it in the video, but I did miss my first left, and that was heartbreaking for me. The right was so easy to catch, I just thought the left would be the same, and it turns out the left's a little bit harder. So now, one thing with this barrel is you have to realize that you're kind of looking into the barrel at 45 degrees because although when I look at it, it looks like I'm not barreled, I felt like I was barreled. You know, one of those barrels where your head's covered, but maybe your body's visible. That's what it felt like to me from inside on that particular wave. But from outside, it looks like I'm completely standing outside. It's very just interesting. So now this wave I believe is Geoff's, right? Now if you notice as a guy's paddling, they call that the pro zone, the pro takeoff zone. And basically that guy's not part of the session, but he's just practicing taking off. And as long as you get off before that first guy gets on, you're fine. So this is Geoff, and he's running it at CT2. Now remember, my rights were CT3, and he gets pretty covered. So looking at it from this angle, he was pretty deep. And I remember as I was going over the wave, watching him, I just realizing, oh man, he's super deep in there. So it's a really cool vision from the inside, and it's definitely a cool vision from the outside. So again, CT2, it's that turn, barrel, turns, and then barrel again. And in both cases, he got pretty covered up there. So this is my last right, and if you notice, my first turn comes off pretty decent every time, and I think it's because I'm in the turn section. And my second turn, this is, although it's CT3, this is so this is CT3, and that would be CT2's barrel section. So in CT3, it's actually a little too steep. Now, looking at that wave, I probably should have just tried to get barreled because it looked like it was going. So now the one thing I noticed that's totally different than the ocean is that in the ocean, you can look down the line and you kind of get a sense of what the wave's going to do. Is it going to be too fast, too slow? Do I need to slow down? Well, in this particular wave, that doesn't happen. So the way the wave's breaking is purely based on the bottom. So when you're looking ahead towards the wedge, everything looks the same. It just looks slopey, and then depending on where you are in the position of the pool, it's either going to barrel, it's either going to be steep or soft. So you have to know the wave, and that's the biggest difference. And even this particular left was different than all the lefts because it's one that happens right after the break. So this is my last left, and I'm not going to show you all my waves because one, I fell on one and then I got super tentative at the end. But anyways, probably by far the best experience ever. I mean, just the service alone. I would say if you get an opportunity to go, just to even watch if someone's at a pool and just to go and experience the environment, I would say do it. And if you're lucky enough to go surf, obviously that's icing on the cake. But yeah, so at this point, I was saying to someone that surfing these waves are like it's like surfing a heat. You're or surfing without a leash. You just really don't try as hard because you don't want to deal with the consequences of falling. So that last one, I felt like I was full on barreled, but when you look at it from this angle, it looks silly. I almost claimed it, thank God I didn't. So one last time, thank you, Geoff. This meant everything. I hope everybody gets an opportunity to someday do something like this. Whether it's Waco, Surf Ranch, although you can't compare the two. Surf Ranch is amazing. Thanks for watching, and I hope someday I can pay this forward.